Hello, hello. Good morning. It's Rita from It's Rita to the Rescue. How are you today? Good morning. A lot of people on this morning. Um, Thank you so much for be having patience with me as I go through all my treatments. Everything went fine yesterday. I was actually walking up the stairs and all of that stuff. I was super tired when I got home because at the new campus of the Salem Hospital is there's a lot of walking. They made a lot of changes. If you're familiar with the Salem Hospital, they made a lot of changes. Guess whatever. Hey, what are you chewing on? What are you chewing on? It's like as soon as I start talking, they need to chew. Hey, so I think it went well. I'm hoping, I won't hear. I won't hear for a while. Yes, today is Joy Day. Hello, little lovely joys. We're going to be doing a project today. I know that I said, will you stop chewing on that? What? I know I said I was going to do a mug today, but oh, hi, Wendy. I decided to change it because I didn't have time to test the mug setup and everything because yesterday was just so crazy for me. So, and let's see. I want to say good morning to everybody. Hi, Leilani. How are you? Hi, Diane, Leslie, Wendy, Loretta, Babs, Linda, Diane. Dream big. That's Diana, right? Christine. Lots of people on today. Good morning. Yes, today is Joy Day. It's a day that we save on the show just to do some projects with the joy. There's a lot of things that can be done. And if you are ever in the place where you want to make a sign that is not big enough to fit in a set space. So this is one that I got. It's just kind of a chalkboard that I got at Arteza. And it has in the back, it has these hangy things so you could hang it this way or hang it this way. Um, and I think that I thought what I wanted to do is to show you how to take an image that if you just resize it would look not good, and also how to do it on the joy, because the joy, the maximum width is like 4.25 inches. Well, this is 8 by 10, so technically could put two groupings right here. So I want to show you how to prepare an image. I selected an image. I want to show you how to prepare an image, how to cut it out, and then how to put it on something like this. We're going to use adhesive vinyl today. And I started off with this Joy Smart Vinyl, which this is in gold. And it worked out pretty well. But then I started thinking, this blue is kind of my color. It's actually teal ish. Teal? Aqua. They call it aqua. But actually the minty colored is actually kind of my color, as you guys know. And but this one matches my joy. So I thought, hey, can you use smart I asked myself a question, can you use regular smart vinyl, the big 13-inch smart vinyl, in your joy? Now we have used iron on and cut it down to work in the joy, but I wanted to know if I could do the smart vinyl, because you can see from this is joy smart vinyl, it has these little sides over here, and I thought, well, I'm not sure if it's going to work, so we're going to try that. We're also going to play around in Design Space on some images to resize them. And then I want to show you how I would accomplish getting this whole sign filled up with the adhesive vinyl. So let's get started, shall we? Let's see. So let's first do the design space part. Okay, so we're going to go here and we're going to, here's my image that I used, and I will make this available for you, but I didn't have the opportunity to do it yesterday. So anyway, so here's the image that I chose. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, and you can see it looks like it's all like one image, but it's not. I'm going to ungroup it so you can see. So I actually cut it down to 3 pieces. I think actually 3 pieces probably a little too much. But the reason why I did it this way is at first I cut it down so that I can cut this all on the Joy. But honestly, I think that 2 pieces would work better for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit these bottom 2 and then do an align center horizontally. I think that's what I want to do. Yep, that's what I want to do. So then once I do center horizontally, I'm going to combine this by welding it. Okay, but how did I get to this place? So let me just group this together. And I'm going to hide it, okay? Because I want you to see how I got to this place. Very simple. All right. So I'm going to go to images, and then I'm going to just type in craft room. Well, it would help if I craft room. It would help if I spelled it correctly. Okay. And you'll see here, this is the image that I chose. Welcome to my craft room. But there are others here. There's a 2-color image by one of the cap artists. And we could just choose any old piece that you want to do. How about this one? Follow your soul. It knows the way to the craft room. Let's try that one. We're going to add that in there. So we can just make it larger just like that, just so we can have a look at it. So this is a little problematic. This image is a little problematic because it has the square around it. So what I want to do is get rid of the square first and foremost. So I'm going to go to contour, and I am going to try to eliminate that bit. There it is. Like that. So now I do not have that thing around it. And now I can start cutting this up, and I think I could probably do this in 2 pieces. So if I did the scissors with the follow your souls, it knows the way to the craft room, that kind of thing. So I think what I will do is I'm going to select, I'm going to, wait, what am I going to do? Oh, I think what I'll do is I'll duplicate this. I did it a couple of different ways. There are different ways to do it, you know. So listen, we'll duplicate it, and then we'll go into the contour, and now we're going to get rid of the top 2 bits, okay? Just like this. Now, if you have to, you can do this, like sort of pinch and zoom in, but you want to get rid of all of these bits from here. And then the second one, we're going to do the other half, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. Let's make sure we got all these pieces correct. Oops. All right, let's try that. So we still have the square. Oh, well. So what are you going to do? We're going to go in here and do the contour again and then get rid of the square. But it didn't work out that way. I probably should use I have these fat fingers. So, okay. So I have, it knows its way to the craft room. And then I'll have this one where I have to contour. And so I have to take these out. So Follow your soul. It knows your way to craft room. So this one, oops. Now the other way, which probably is easier, is I simply cut out.
Sorry to interrupt your show.
Yeah, what's up?
But what should I put on Nana's TV? What does she like to watch?
She likes to watch Life. What's that called? Life Channel. Life. What's it called? I forget what number it is. Like 904, 905. She also will watch The View. My son's home today. All right, so here you go. This I have made this into 2 pieces, and what I will do here is I'm going to just group this because I want to show you the other way I did this. So go back to images, and let's choose something else. We'll choose 3 different ones. Follow your soul. The craft room is calling and I must go. That's kind of cute. I can't wait to go home to my craft room. Now this one here would be a little problematic because of the spaces here, and I would use the technique of contouring out. But oh, okay. Let's have a look and see if there's anything else that I like. But look at this one, craft supplies collector. Did you figure it out?
Yeah, I figured it out.
All right, thanks. Crazy crafting lady, craft supplies collector. Let's try this one. All right. So with this one, kind of interesting because there's no holes in the letters. But anyway, so with this one, what I did was, or the other technique that I did was I went down to shapes and I chose a square. I made sure that I could resize the square. And then I took that square. I think I'm going to take this square up here. I think that will work. Yeah, that should work. Now I'm going to select it all and I'm going to slice out. So here's 2 options for you. You can do this. Whoops. All right. Whoops. So let's get rid of this. Delete and delete. Okay, now this one here is not the same color, but what we'll do is we can change that, go to edit and basic cut, do black, apply. Okay, so now we have 2 pieces like this, and we just need to, whether we do it this way or we do it this way, we need to do one thing and make sure that we are going to be able to fit this on our blank or our substrate. So this substrate is, you don't have to use this. You might find something else. I found a few other little things hanging around in my craft room, but this is an 8x10 space. Okay, so how do I know that? I went here onto my ruler on this thing, and I just put it here so I could see what is the space that I'm working with. So 10 to about 20. So that is 10 inches. And then from here, 10 to about 18. So that's 8 inches. So it is 8x10. Okay. So let's go back to here. I actually don't like this image too much, so let's get rid of that image. Whoops, delete, delete, delete. Okay, so this one here, let's ungroup it, and we can see that it is 2 pieces, okay? So there's this one piece, this is the other one. But we want to make sure it's going to fit on the 8x10. So we're going to group this all. We're not going to weld it. We're grouping it, right? Because we still want them to be separate, but we need to make it so that it works in the size that we're doing. So since we have 8 by 10, I think I would go to like 9 3/4, or maybe even 9 1/2. And I can do this up here, or I can do it down here. So you see it's unlocked. So I think I'll do 9.5 by 8 by 10. So 7.5. I think that works. Okay, so now we have, this is going to work in our machine, and it's going to work on our substrate. Does that make sense? Hi, Bren. Welcome to anybody new. And yes, join the chat if you are on the chat. Join the chat, because these people that come to the chat are super knowledgeable. It's not just about me, it's about all these people, and you can learn a lot from different people. Ask your questions. This is probably the nicest group on the internet, and especially with working on a craft. If you have a question, the reason why I do these live is so that people can chime in and say, oh, I did it this way, or I did it that way, that sort of thing. And then they also ask me questions, which sometimes I see, and usually they'll, sometimes I get so excited and engrossed in the project that I don't see all the comments. And that's why we've got my friend Loretta here. She kind of, she's sort of like the corraller. She's the handler. She's my handler. All right. So now we have this, and I'm just going to ungroup it so you can see. So I have this piece, and I'm going to check and make sure that both these pieces are going to work in my machine. So that's why I ungroup it, and I'm just going to go to edit and make sure that it's going to work. However, you see down here, it says it's 9.15 wide and a height of 4.34. That's probably not going to work in the Joy. So I'm going to put them together again, and I will go over to edit, and I am going to go to align, and I'm going to, let's see, center vertically, align, center horizontally. I think that's what we did before. Okay, so once we did center horizontally, I'm going to group it, and then I have to make the change in the size a little bit. So I'm going to go to edit, and I think I'm going to take this down to, because width and height, so I'm going to take this height down to 7.5, and hopefully that will change what we're doing here. So ungroup, let's check both of these images. Right, it's perfect. So see, it's this one here. If you go to edit, you can see the width is 9.14 by 4.25. 4.25 is the magic number with the Joy, okay? So let's go ahead and save this before we start cutting it out. All right. Now, before we start cutting out on the Joy, there are two things you have to do. I'm using my iPad. So on my iPad, I have to connect the Joy via Bluetooth. Okay. Oh, thank you, Ada. How are you? Miss Rita, happy craft chatters. Yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and do, I'm trying to do both things. I'm sorry if that bothers you guys, but I'd like to be part of the chat, and then I want to show you this, but I really need to learn to pay attention to what I'm doing. Sorry. Okay, so before we go ahead and cut this out, we need to do two things. One, we need to go to our settings and make sure that our Bluetooth is on and that our Joy is connected. You see that? It says connected. I also know it's connected because it is blinking at the top. All right. Then I am going to go back to Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to go here to the hamburger menu, right? hamburger menu, and I have to change my machine selection. So sometimes, because I have all the machines, sometimes I have this on Maker or Explore, and so you do need to go in and change it to Joy, otherwise it won't cut out. Okay, so let's go back to our canvas and we will start looking at making this. So if you hit make it, you'll see that we need a long piece. This is how much we need. We need 20.5 inches. Okay. And the mirror is off. And that's how it's going to happen on the Joy. So just about everything is doable on the Joy except for scoring, which, you know, whatever. So just about everything is doable on the Joy. And you just need to know how to manipulate it. So let's talk about this smart vinyl before we go ahead and cut. So this is smart vinyl from for the larger machines, but I've always been under the impression that there's got to be a way that we can use this in the Joy, because you can do the same thing with the let's see, you can do the same thing with like the paper and the iron-on. So why can't you do the same thing with vinyl? So we're going to find out. So here is my aqua vinyl. Now I'm going to move this out of the way just so that you know. Remember, I need to have 20.5 inches of material. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure out. I'm going to use my cutter. All of a sudden it got really dark in here. Really cloudy or something. So I'm going to use my cutter. So this is my cutter. Everybody has one of these. If you don't have to get the Cricut branded one, although it is a good price. But you can buy it and have other people that make it. So what I'm going to do here, and it's going to be a little tricky, but here it's 16 inches. And then so I'm going to, because it goes all the way, see, there's one. So I could do it this way, 1 to 16. It's like that. And then I'm going to put my finger where is 16. It's okay if you cut a little bit more. It's not so okay if you cut a little less. So 16 plus, I don't know, 5. Let's do 6. So here's 6. So this should technically be the length that we want. I know this is a little confusing. Stay with me though, okay? So here we go. There is the length that we want. Now we need to cut it to 5.5 inches each. The problem is that it's pretty long. So that becomes a little bit problematic. Now, if you wanted to, because you want to cut this in half and you want to make this at 5.5 inches, and you can't sort of put it in, so you got to be a little bit careful about cutting it up. All right. So here you go. You can see on the back that this is 13 inches. So what I'm going to do is find the middle point. So halfway between 10 and 23 is 7.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. All right. And that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So I'm going to go right here because I think these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you know, so sorry, I'm just kind of like doing this in my head because I had tried this before, but we're going to try it. So I got my ruler and I need to find the middle point here, and then we'll get it down. So half of 13 is 6.5, right? So we're going to find the 6.5 point. Actually, you know what we should do is do the 5.5 point here. So that is right here, according to this. That doesn't seem right, but let's try it over here. 5.5 inches is actually here. So let's try to trim it on this line and see what happens. So, yes, it's so much easier if you use, I'm sure it's so much easier if you use the smart vinyl. But you guys know I'm all about, trying to find different ways to do things, and especially not to cheat, not to spend a ton of money while I'm doing it. Was this the place? I hope this was the place. Let me do it again. So that's how I roll. So let's see, 5.5 is here, which is weird because it doesn't like line up here. 5.5. I think what I'll do is I'll make this 5.5 and see if, yes. Okay. So there is the 5.5 mark. So now I'm going to take my ruler and my True Control knife, and I'm going to cut this like this. Now, if you don't want to go through all of this, sure, use smart vinyl for the joy. And some of you might have a stockpile, like from when it was on sale or something like that. Definitely use that. The one thing I did notice that's a little different about smart vinyl for the joy versus smart vinyl for the other machines is that it's a little harder to transfer. It's a little harder to transfer. So that's kind of the second reason why I want to do this. And see if this is going to work. So we're on an adventure. This is an adventure, guys. So let's just kind of go with the flow and be adventurous and try out new things, because that's what we're kind of all about. Try to be as careful as you can cutting this. So this is actually bigger than what we want. This is the 5.5 inch wide. Okay. And let's just double check, make sure this is 5.5. It might be a little bit too big. We'll have to find out. Okay. So this is the 5.5, 21 inches. And let's go ahead and see how this works out. So we have 20.5 inches. Might be a little bit longer, but that doesn't really much matter. Yeah, it is a little bit longer. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as it's not short. Okay, so we're going to hit next. We're going to hit next. Come on, next. Why is it doing nothing? Please tell me this is not going to be a problem. All right, so I need to go back and close out my Cricut. I hope I saved it. Yeah, I did. So my projects, welcome to my craft room, customize. Replace. Okay. All right. So, by the way, once you've cut these into 2 pieces, if you didn't want to go through this whole thing, you could cut them individually. So, for instance, I could, right here, I could do layers and hide this part, and then just hit make it like this, and then it's a little bit more manageable. So if that's something you want to do, you could also do that. So, but let's, again, we're adventurers, so let's adventure. Okay, so follow your soul. It knows the way to the craft room. So we're going to hit make it, and you see they're side by side here, and then we're going to hit next. And please tell me this is going to work, because it worked for me. Okay, good. It worked for me this morning. Okay, so we're going to go to all materials and check our box. What material is this? It is permanent vinyl. So I'm going to choose Smart Vinyl Permanent. I am going to put more pressure on it. And then I'm ready to load this in. So let's see if it works. If not, oh, it doesn't work. We need to make it slightly smaller, you guys. Slightly smaller. You see that? It's a little bit over the 5.5 inches. So the cut area is 4.25, but the between the two rollers, it's 5.5 exactly. So we need to make sure that this is cut down to exactly 5.5 inches. And it is not, it's 5.75 inches. So I think what we could do, I think this is 1/4 inch over here. Yeah, so we're gonna take and cut this part. All right, where's my cutter? Cutter, where'd you go? Did you drop it on the floor? Did the dog take it? Where is it? Ah, okay. Not, oh, here it is. Okay. So you can do this, or I can take my scissors and very carefully cut along this dotted line. So there is a reason to have this nice dotted grid on the back, isn't there? Now, as far as the other half of this that we cut out, you would definitely need to do the same thing. So it's 5.5 inches. And let's try it now. Yes, it fit. Yeah, the grid is handy. There's a little extra bit on the edge. Okay, so again, Smart Vinyl Permanent, more pressure. Let's hit go. All right. Now let me clean up my little area here. So keep this. I'm going to put it back in my roll holder here. Now we're going to need some transfer tape. When this is done, we're going to need some transfer tape, and we're going to need a weeding tool, and also some, I would suggest, some masking tape. Now, other people will tell you parchment paper, but I'm going to try this with the masking tape. I've done the parchment paper before. It works. It's a good trick. Okay. While this is cutting out, I want to see who is someone that's watching today that I know follows me in the Cricut community, right? Or is trying to follow me in the Cricut community, and has not won a Cricut cutie from me. So who among us, say, I don't know, what did Loretta, can you help me facilitate this? So I'm trying to find out who hasn't won a cutie from me. Elizabeth is that person? Okay, so Elizabeth, we got quite a few people. All right. Gail hasn't won either. So Loretta chose Elizabeth. Are we going to choose Elizabeth? Oh, wow. We got a lot of people that haven't won. All right. So this week we'll do Elizabeth, and we'll do it again next week, and we'll have you put your name in. Is that okay? Does that work for everybody? Because I want to reward the people that come to my lives, and also reward them for following me in the community. I think that's the best way to do it. Now, if you win today, whoever wins, Loretta, you're going to announce who's the winner, right? So if you win today, what you're going to do is send me an email at missritatotherescue@gmail.com. And I will make sure that you get your cutie. I need to preface that by saying that I am behind in sending out things that I've promised people, but I have not forgotten. I'm behind. I working on trying to change this program, and I like spending a lot of time doing organizing and all of that, and I just haven't done it. But this weekend I really feel confident that I'm going to be able to get those out. So you'll win a cutie and a few other kind of cool things. Now also, while this is cutting out, I wanted to show you something I got from Ranger Ink, a brand new box of, or not a box, but a bag of things. And if you are interested in learning new techniques, the next one we're probably going to do is this. It's called Perfect Pearls. And it is like a mica that goes on to your images, and we're going to work on that a little bit, and we'll probably use embossing. So you do need this perfect medium with it. So, and you can buy these pearls individually like this. Now, this is from rangerinc.com. So we're going to be doing this next week, probably the next time we do a project that is not necessarily Cricut focused. And eventually we're going to also be doing, so if you're looking for things to buy over the weekend, rangerinc.com, or some of these things can be purchased at your local craft store. So this is another project that we'll work on. It's called Distress Crayon Watercolor Kit. It has quite a bit of things in it, including some stamps and some paper, but the main reason why I bought it is because of this. These are called Distress Crayons, and we're going to be playing around with these, and I'm going to figure out ways to incorporate the Cricut into all of this stuff. So, you know, if you're thinking, why are you doing that stuff, then that's why, because I don't want us to be too one-sided in terms of the things we know, because I think there are so many other great things out there, including stamping, inking, all different kinds of embellishments that you can put on that would make your project sort of over the top kind of thing. So here we go. Here's our cutout. It says, follow your soul. It knows the way to the craft room. So that worked out pretty well. I'm just going to save this little bit and put it in my my pile for my friend Christine. So I want to show you how cool this is, how easy it should weed. All right. It knows. Sometimes you have to give it a little bit of help. It knows its way, or it knows it the way, not its way, the way. So I know there are a lot of people that still like, I don't want to do any of this vinyl, but it's kind of fun. And you know, if you're more of a paper person, you could certainly do something like this in paper, but you wouldn't be able to like put it on the space that I just created, or that I just found. So I'm just going through and I'm weeding between the letters. And I'm really excited about working with Perfect Pearls because they've been around a long time, and I kind of just ignored them. Look at my A just decided to take off. And it has a little bit of extra. It has the inside of the A on there. Pooh. Don't do that. All right. Let's place this here. The A got ripped a little bit, but that's okay. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use this. Hold on, just finish this up. We're going to use the flat side of our vinyl to our advantage Did I get the thing over here? I did not. Let's do this. And this. Boop. Okay. So there you go. And we're going to cut this. We can use, if we want, we can use our cutter or you can use scissors, up to you. But we're going to cut it. Not a lot of room here. It feels like it's going to cut. It's so close. No, it didn't. Okay. So now we have our 2 pieces and it's going to go here and here. But as you can see, there's a lot of overlap. Plus, it's a little bit longer than what we need. So I'm going to actually cut it a little bit more. Whoop. Don't get on here. Just a little bit more, just so it fits the width of our project. We'll talk about the length part of the project in a second. Okay. So, follow your soul. It knows the way to the craft room. Now, this is me. This is how I would do it. I'm going to take a little piece of masking tape and I'm going to put it underneath here as like an anchor, okay? And then I'm going to take this and find a good place to put it. If this is too much room between the letters, you can also trim there. But you see how I'm kind of like trying to get it so that it's straight, looks as if it cut out all as one. And that little bit of masking tape, be careful though, is kind of holding your image together. So basically we deconstructed the image and now we're putting it back. We're reconstructing the image. We're putting it back. And now what we need is some transfer tape. So here's transfer tape. And I'm just going to sort of casually measure it. I'm using the grid on the transfer tape as well. Okay. So don't want to move this around too much. But here you go. And I'm going to use this grid right here to know this is where I'm going to cut it off. All right. Now, could we have done this with iron-on? Absolutely we could have. But you guys, you know, I have a ton of vinyl and I want to use it. I hope you have a ton of vinyl as well. And you may want to use it. So, how do we get this on? So first of all, we got our nice transfer tape and we are going to remove the top part of the transfer tape. If it works, come on now. I have no nails. So I'm just trying to remove the top from the backing. And it's giving me trouble, which is a problem. Oh, well. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is sort of bend that a little bit. This is going to make putting the transfer tape on easier. All right. So once I know where it's going to be, I'm going to bend this. You know what else I can do? I can actually cut this off. They're very similar to the hinge method that you see. A lot of people use this hinge method. So we're just going to go ahead and put this on the left-hand side, you see? All right, and then we're going to lift this part up like this and roll over and use your left hand to sort of press it down a little bit. And boom, it's done. Isn't that easy? And I tried to line up the things. I didn't do that well. And oops, I'm missing a little piece here. I'm going to have to go back and fix that. But now what I'm going to do is I am going to take my what is it called? A scraper. My scraper. All right. And I am going to, I'm going to scrape this down on the transfer tape because this is so that the cutout will stick to the transfer tape, making it much easier to transfer your design. That's what it's designed for. But you have to give it a little bit of help. And this part you probably have to do a lot more of if you're using the Joy vinyl. The Joy vinyl is not as, it's a little more problematic, let's say that. Okay? If it helps you, you can remove this over here. Sometimes it helps me, so I'll just show you that I do that. But yeah, it did work. It was smart vinyl. I think that probably is why. I don't think regular vinyl, but maybe I'm wrong. We could try it. But I don't think regular vinyl will work as well because it has to do with the backing that it's on is a lot thicker. So there you go. Now before we start peeling this off, we need to make sure it's going to fit, right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to make it fit. It's having a little bit of issues over here, but I think it's going to work. Say a little prayer that it works. If it doesn't work, then we're in trouble. No, I'm just kidding. If it doesn't work, we would then take and cut down the space in between these two things. But I'm thinking it's going to work. What do you think? I think it's going to work. All right, so let us see if this is going to peel. So I'm turning this in the back. And yeah, it's peeling quite easily if you ask me. All right, and I'm gonna do the same thing where I'm gonna just kind of do a hinge. So let's go ahead and cut this part. And make sure this part is done. I gotta tell you, so funny. I rarely leave my house, you guys. I mean, ever since the pandemic, I just haven't left my house. And it's probably a good thing I don't, because when I go out, I usually spend a lot of money. So that's been a good thing for me. However, my dogs do not, they just do not like it when I'm gone. So yesterday, my sister, she was coming and going, and she came in the house, and every time came in the house, the dog was giving her the stink eye, really badly, the stink eye. And she kept having to talk to them you know what, guys, she's coming. It's going to be okay. And then when I came home, same thing. They were practically jumping out the door to get in and see me. So that was kind of fun to know that they love me. And that's sort of a nice thing. All right. So we're having a little bit of problem with this. I'm going to try to do this and see if it works this way. I don't know. We'll try it. We'll see. So it's kind of not working that way. So let's see if we can't go ahead and take this transfer backing off a little bit more. Come on now. Don't shame me, smart vinyl. Okay. So what I'm going to try to do then is I'm going to take off this top part of the vinyl. See how we're doing. Follow your soul. It knows the way to the craft room. It sure does. But okay. So we're just doing this slowly. If we wanted to, we could separate these two, which I'm thinking at this point may be a good idea because I'm looking like I'm messing up and I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. But again, we call this crafting adventures and we do it live. So that's what you get. I'm not a rehearsed, get in there and do it 10,000 times. And I know that there are a lot of people that do it that way, and that's great. However, that's not me. Did you know that Julia Child taped all of her shows live, and she never stopped them? So here we go. And she made some big ass mistakes. Sorry. Sorry for the language. But she did. She made some pretty awful mistakes. But she looked at them as if they were, just variations. And she was able to get out of them. And she's my idol, by the way. She's my idol. And she always wanted everyone to there we go. She always wanted everyone to just try something. And how many times did you, that's how I got to be a person that likes to cook, because she taught me how to make like things like French onion soup and boeuf bourguignon. And all kinds of really interesting things. I sort of drew the line on killing live lobsters. I'm not that cool about that, but I did learn quite a bit of different things and how to use my kitchen tools better and all that. So this is extra stuck there. I'll just take it off afterwards. All right. And not to say that I am Julia Child of crafting, but I just try to follow her example so that you guys can know you can do this crap at home. Craft. Sorry. You can do this craft at home. All right. This is not going well, you guys. Maybe I should have done the mug. No, just kidding. We're going to make it happen. All right, here we go. We're making it happen. All right. Yay. Whew. All right. Yes. All right. And let's make sure this part works now. Man, I should have... Where's my scraper? Okay, here. It's not working. How is it not working? I'm going to get there. I am. I'm going to get there. Thank you for your patience. So, what are you guys working on this weekend? What's going on in your craft room this weekend? You're going to try one of the projects that we had this week. We did a really fun pinup girl card. Let's see, what else did we do this week? We did mostly paper projects so far this week, I think, except for this one. We did a little bit of iron-on, Yeah, we did a little bit of iron-on too. We made that nice cherry card, which is sort of a grown-up Valentine, I think. Did we do any other Valentines? We did the pinup. We did the cherry card. What else did we do this week? I don't know. Don't remember. All right. Oh, you're moving your craft. You making a new sign for your craft room? That sounds like fun. I am going to continue cleaning up. So what happens to me is, like, I find these crafts and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. So I order them and they come, like, a week later or something like that. And by then I'm like, all right, I need to play with this a little bit more. So I need to put it aside. So I kind of put it aside to the side of my, like, crafting area. And let's see. So I do it to the side of my crafting area. And then it gets buried in other things. And then I forget that I purchased them. So I'm like, oh, I'm looking through and I'm going, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to make this, or I totally forgot to make that. And that's the case with a lot of, like, the small stuff. So the last 3 years I've focused mostly on Cricut, which has been good. You guys have learned a lot, but wanting to, there, oh, I did it. Now I have to remove the transfer tape, but does it look good? I have to take this off. I think I'll take one of these and put it over here. You do that all the time? And, I buy it, I'm like, oh, yes. So a couple of examples of that I bought stuff to make engraving, like a little light. I bought that. I got all kinds of fabric, all kinds of ink and ink pads, rhinestones, resin. I mean, I'm finding all these cute little things. I'm like, wow. Stamps, lots of stamps, because I used to be a stamper way before the Cricut came along. And what is this thing? What is this? Follow your soul. It knows the way to the craft room. Okay, this might go there, perhaps. See that piece? Will it go there? Or meh? We'll put it over here just in case. Okay, now we're going to lift this up. Right? And then, so I just kind of pile this stuff, and then Christmas comes, and then, Halloween comes, and I'm like, oh yeah, didn't I buy that stuff? And so what happens is sometimes I buy it twice, and then I find the other one. And sometimes I have to buy it twice, and I can't find the other one, and it only comes up after I've already used the new one, that sort of thing. So I do think that being organized in your craft room is really important. I just get so, I don't know, into things that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. And then, they're like Pinterest dreams, I guess. So if you're like me, join the club. Join the club. Let's see. So this is the hardest part of, I'm going to talk about myself now, sorry. So this is the hardest part. I just had my scans yesterday, and now I have to wait. I think this is the hardest part. But it was a little difficult getting into the hospital and everything else, so I did get pretty tired yesterday. But waiting is, is the hardest part, I guess. Maybe that song is right. The waiting is the hardest part, right? Okay. So we need to decide what we're going to do about our Zooms because I was hoping that we could use them for like more bigger projects and that people could sort of log in and see us all working on these bigger projects. And we have to decide which project that's going to be. So I'd love to hear your input on that because I'm itching for a Zoom that isn't boring. I think that would be fun. And I have had my fill of boring Zooms, so I'm ready for something fun, and to hang out with you guys and stuff and have you guys be working on this project same as me. Now, what that's going to mean is if you are going to participate in the Zoom, you need to have your camera set for if you want it to be that way. Wow, look at that. If you want to participate, you need to have your camera so that people can see what you're doing, or you're going to be also showing, like holding it up a lot too, if you want to not use that. I think I'll probably use two cameras for mine. So that way I can see, you can see me, I can see you, that sort of thing. All right, this piece is not going to work. So I'm going to have to move that over. And this piece is too wide. All right, so I got all the transfer tape off. I got a little close with the scissors and I'm missing this piece here. So I think because of the way that it is, I'm going to have to take one of these off and put it over here because continuity, right? And then I could maybe put this piece over there, but I think it's too big. So there it is. Is it crooked? Probably. Yeah, so what kind of project do you want to work on? I did find, maybe we could put this over here, but I did find some really awesome spring projects that I thought we could do from Dreaming Tree, but it would require that you purchase. I don't think I can just do the free thing, so it would require that you'd have to purchase some files, and I know some of you said, yeah, I can do that, and others not. Now I am an affiliate with Dreaming Tree, and this is no longer like, I mean, I can do Zooms, and I normally, because it was a Cricut chat and I was the product expert and all that, although the product expert group I found is going to last until April 1st, I think we could certainly do a Zoom. All right, so it should be crooked. It shouldn't be crooked. It's crooked. Oh well. I tried to get around it. Nobody will notice. They're gonna notice. Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. You guys know, but other people look at it and go, wow, that's pretty cool. And I like this color on the black, don't you? But that's how you handle images in Design Space for the Joy. I hope that this has been helpful to you. I know I've talked an awful lot, and would love to do a Dreaming Tree project. So I think what I'll do is I'll try to somehow communicate to you guys a couple of projects that we can pick. So just so you know, like Dreaming Tree is, let's see. Oh, you know what else I found? My Empress. I found my Empress. I'm like, that's where you've been hiding, little girl. So let's go over here to 3dsvg.com. And this is Dreaming Tree, in case you weren't aware. So this is 3dsvg.com, Dreaming Tree, and they do have a lot of like spring things that I thought that we could do. I did have a favorite project, and that was oh, look at that basket. That's cute. But I want to do one of the older ones. Oh, look at the chick tree box. Do I own that? Huh. I might. Maybe we could do that. But I was thinking that we would do, let's see. Nope. It's a hat box. Here it is. These two. So it's called the Daffodilly Spring SVG bundle. It has 3 projects in it, or you can buy the projects separately. And I was thinking about doing this skimmer hat box. It's a box. I've done it before. It's super cute. And if we do it, then we'd have to do this together in a longer format. Please put your Dreaming Tree affiliate link in the comments. I will, but I don't have it on me, so so I have to do it later, okay? And you want to do some of the cards. Do you want to do the free cards, Loretta? Because the other thing about Dreaming Tree is that they have a lot of free files. And look at this adorable cake. That would be a cute thing to do. The free files are smaller, but look at that with the cherry on top. How adorable is that? They are smaller, they take less time, and there are a lot of cards in this mix. So, for instance, like this one, this is a free card that they do. Is that what you mean? Purchase are okay. All right. I have to watch some of the reviews because pest control guy is here. All right, so we'll have to, I think what we'll do the first time is I will pick a file, and maybe we can do like free file first or something like that. I can pick out 2 free files from here, and then we'll do our Zoom, and then while we're on the Zoom, I can ask you guys to offer up ones that you want to do. How does that sound? So our next Zoom is going to be, well, I suppose we can't do it tomorrow because I'm not ready for that. So why don't we do next Saturday? And what do you guys think about the time? There's a lot of cards here, a lot of cards. So what do you think about the time? Bye, Dorothy. Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow. Best friend's son. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's awful. I will. So his name was Ivan, or that's your friend? His son, what was the son? Okay, February 18th. I don't know. Is that the date? Loretta, you tell me. What would I do without you, Loretta? Did you get my email, by the way? I hope you did. And so let's have a look at the calendar, okay? So today's the 10th. So yeah, February 18th. Anybody can join the Zoom. It's not going to just be for like Patreon things or whatever. It's at least to start out, we're going to just do the Zoom. We're going to start with some free files. And then you're writing your lengthy reply. Oh, the friend. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's awful. Yeah. All right. So anyway, let's do the 18th at, I don't know, 7 o'clock. Is that too late? Too early or what? I'm on the East Coast, so 7 o'clock works for me. But then as you get closer to the West Coast, there's a 3-hour time difference, right? So that would put it at 4 o'clock on other people. 7 o'clock, we could start at 6. It's up to you guys. What do you want to do? 7 Eastern time? Okay. All right. So let's do our Zoom on the 18th. And next week, I'll be back. I've got a couple more Valentine's. I hope you're not sick of them. I've got some spring projects. Again, I'm going to be talking about perfect pearls. And the best way, let me just show you what this perfect pearls thing's all about before you leave. Since it is Friday, we're going a little long, you guys. So let's see this haul that I got from Ranger. All right. So, all right, I'm a crazy person. I have so many ink pads, but I decided I wanted the ink. There is a difference between Distress Oxide and, let me show you. So this is Distressed Oxide, and this is Distressed Ink. And I wanted to show you the difference between oxide and ink. So I decided, because I have only oxide, I decided to get some of these little minis for the ink. So that's that part of the haul. What did I get? I got like 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. This is the brand new color from Ranger Ink. It's called Lost Shadow. I've seen some people do some really fun things with this, so I wanted to test it out. And this is an oxide, which means it's sort of a combination between dye ink and pigment ink. So it also makes pretty good embossing, just so that you know. And then we've got these things. This is called Perfect Pearls. So Perfect Pearls uses this. It's called Perfect Medium. Or you can also use this, which is Versamark. And all it really is kind of like a glue that when you put the Perfect Pearls, which are very much powdery and you have to be real careful about them. But when you put it on there, it sticks. It's the powder and it sticks to the powder. I don't want to open it up, but you can see it's like mica. So we got Perfect Pearls. That we're going to do. We're going to do this Distressed Crayon. We're going to talk about oxide and ink. There's a lot. We're going to do some embossing. It's going to be fun. Don't you think? So I think I have all the mini distress. You do? Then I got off on another tangent, you guys, and got these, which I'm like, all right, what's the difference between this and this? So we're going to have to find out. We're going to have to find out. We're going to do a lot of playing. I hope you're up for it. Oh, and I forgot, there's other things too, such as we've got these, which are called liquid pearls. And just so you know, from the word pearls, it's because they have got a pearlescent look to them, so we can play with those as well. All right. That's it for me for this week. Embossing powders on resin. Very interesting, Leilani. Yeah. So next week, and Versamark is a great embossing. They call it a watermark. So the thing about embossing is you would take your die. So for example, where's this die set? So you take this die and you'd load it up with embossing, which is clear. Then you put it on your paper. Then you take embossing powder, which is a little different. It's kind of like a powder, and then you use a heat gun to turn it, and the powder is what decides the color. So or the ink could decide the color as well. But I think that we should play with all of these things. A lot of rabbit holes. Oh my gosh. Tons of rabbit holes. So, you know what? You can come and just watch and go, yeah, that's not for me. I mean, like, for instance, resin. Like, I want to learn about resining with cups, and I have yet to get my friend Wendy to agree with it. So I want to talk to my friend Wendy. Maybe we can do it in her studio, and I don't know. She might say no. What? She never says no to anything, so never mind. But resin can be a little bit hard, and maybe you might say, "Oh, okay, I don't want to do resin. It's smelly and it's too much work, or it's too expensive, or whatever." You'll still get to see how it goes, and you can make an informed decision based on my playing around with it. And that's all that, I know there are some people that like they push and push and push and they don't even like the product, but I am not going to show you anything I don't like. I'm very honest, and I hope that you come along for those journeys with me. All right. Yes, it's tricky, right? For Wendy to do a resin lesson at her shop. I agree. Yeah. Yes, Diana, you're going to have to go and look for these. These are called Perfect Pearls. You can buy them at the craft store. I happen to buy them from what's called Ranger Ink, which is these are the guys that produce, or the people that produce them is from Ranger Ink. It doesn't say on there, but it is from Ranger Ink. And you can buy this set, which I did, and it has two different little brushes on it, but I'm actually going to try to use the water brush from the watercolor cards from Cricut. So we're going to try a bunch of stuff. I'm so excited to get going on all of this. I hope you are too. That's all I got for you today, this week, and everything. I guess I'm out of here. Sorry to go over our usual time. All right. Oh, Linda, you're in Greenwich Mean Time. So by going a little bit earlier, what about 6 o'clock? Is that gonna work? Okay. All right. So when Loretta, who was the winner for the cutie today? And then I'll let you go. Maybe everybody else knows except for me. Yes, they are in New Jersey. Screen printing shirts. You know that American Crafts has a screen printing shirt, like a screen printing thing out this year. Okay, Elizabeth Raquel, thank you. Send me an email. Congratulations. And that's all I got, you guys. I'm out of here. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday. Take care. Bon appetit.